Today we're going to talk about something incredibly tender, something many women never expected to face twice in a lifetime. You grew up in a home where love sometimes hurt, where emotions were unpredictable, or where your needs felt like too much. You learned to survive by reading the room, keeping peace, shrinking your needs, and earning love through caretaking. And years later, you thought you'd found safety. A husband. Stability. A future. But then something quietly familiar crept in: loneliness, confusion, disconnection. And once again, you felt unseen. This video is for you, the woman healing from childhood trauma who finds herself re-traumatized in a marriage with an autistic, emotionally unavailable husband. By the end, I want you to feel two things: understood and empowered. Because healing doesn't mean staying stuck in old pain, it means finally understanding what's happening and reclaiming your voice. When a little girl grows up without emotional safety, maybe her parents were critical, distracted, abusive, or unpredictable, she learns that love is conditional. Her nervous system adapts. She becomes the caretaker, the fixer, the one who anticipates everyone's needs before they're spoken. It's not weakness, it's survival. But here's the hard truth: the body doesn't forget what it learned about love. So as an adult, that same woman often feels drawn to emotionally distant or unavailable partners. Not because she wants pain, but because her nervous system recognizes familiarity as safety. If you relate to this, if you've ever thought, "Why do I keep ending up in the same dynamic?" I want you to know this isn't your fault. It's your nervous system trying to complete an old story. But we can rewrite it. Many women marry autistic men who are kind, loyal, intelligent, but emotionally unavailable in ways that feel eerily similar to their childhood. They find themselves doing all the emotional labor, maintaining connection, initiating repair, carrying the empathy, the depth, the heart of the relationship. Meanwhile, their autistic husband isn't cruel. He's just wired differently, less intuitive about emotional cues, less able to reciprocate in the same way. But here's what happens. She feels invisible again. The old wound of "I have to work for love" comes roaring back. It's not just marriage trouble, it's trauma reactivation. So when she says, "I feel abandoned," what she really means is, "My body remembers what it was like to not be emotionally met." And when she starts walking on eggshells, pleasing, or over-functioning, that's not weakness, that's her nervous system's way of saying, "I remember this. I know this pattern. I'll survive it again." Except now, survival isn't enough. You deserve more than survival. You deserve emotional safety. Let's talk about your autistic husband for a moment, not to blame, but to understand. Autism can affect emotional reciprocity, the ability to read and respond to another person's emotional state. It's not that he doesn't care. It's that his brain processes emotional information differently. So when you share pain, and he responds with silence or logic, it can feel like rejection. But often, it's confusion or emotional overload on his end. Here's the key balance. You can have compassion for his neurology and still have boundaries for your emotional well-being. You can say, "I know you don't mean to be distant, but when you withdraw, I feel abandoned. I need us to find ways to reconnect when that happens." That's not blame, that's truth with boundaries. Because understanding him doesn't mean abandoning yourself. You can love someone deeply, and still refuse to disappear to make them comfortable. If you've lived through this kind of double trauma, first in childhood, then again in marriage, your healing won't be quick. But it will be possible. Here's what recovery looks like. Recognizing your triggers. When your body goes into panic or despair, pause. Ask, "Is this about now, or about then?" Sometimes your inner child is reacting to echoes, not the present moment. Separating empathy from self-abandonment. You can be compassionate toward your husband without overfunctioning for him. Begin giving yourself what you always needed: validation, gentleness, consistency. You're allowed to want that. Healing from this kind of pain is like learning a new language, one of self-worth and quiet strength. You are not broken because you feel lonely in your marriage. You are not too much because you crave connection. And you are not unlovable because you keep hoping for more. If this message resonates with you, please share it. There are thousands of women silently living this story, and your courage might give them permission to begin their own healing too.